Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to also check out our Facebook page, BWTM Sports Group and BWTM Sports Channel. We have a really big treat for you tonight. We are in Los Angeles. We're going to be live in Los Angeles. We'll be talking to Yolanda Cortez, and we have some people from Faith Fighters International. Really, really exciting group of people to talk to, and I'm really looking forward to get to know a bit more about them. So you know who I am, and afterwards we'll talk a little bit more about the big fight that's happening this weekend between Callum Smith and the change of the opponent, Nikki Holson. Without further ado, we'll be bringing Yolanda Cortez live from California into the room. Yolanda, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. So how have things been?
Oh my goodness. Well, I've been a busy lady, like always.
Yes.
And my most recent project has been with Faith Fighters International. And what we are doing is we're working with the youth and getting them into sports and getting them into a whole well-rounded program where we are focused on their body, mind, and spirit. And that's what the ladies are here for, to share more about.
Fantastic. Well, before we continue, tell us a little bit more about how you're involved with all this.
Well, let's see. How am I involved? We are co-founders. So we all kind of just got together with this idea of my love for boxing and for just the whole idea of our history. Leiko and I, we worked for many years with the youth who have problems with either disability or foster care. Maybe they're in foster care or they could be in the juvenile system. So just with our common goals in mind to empower the youth, we kind of just came together and we built this program together.
It is a fantastic program. I've been reading all about it, but I would rather the ladies tell me a bit more about it. So if you could introduce the ladies that are also in the room, Yolanda?
Yes, absolutely. Well, we have Leiko and Kenya, and these ladies are one of the most amazing ladies that I know, and we've been friends forever. So without further ado, please say hello to the audience.
Hi, guys. Hello.
So if you could reintroduce yourselves again.
So there's actually two of us.
Right. Yes.
But we have known Yolanda for a very long time. She's been a true friend and just a true inspiration with all the work that she does in ministries. I'm Kenya and
I'm Leiko.
Okay.
And together, we basically, what we do is we come up with a lot of different creative ways of like growing ministries and impacting people all over the world by sharing the love of God. And one of the things that we wanted to do, because Yolanda had her connection with boxing and just sports, she just loves, what the boxing field adds to people, just the inspiration, the discipline, the self-control. I mean, just as a fan and what she's done with media. So we got together and we decided, hey, if this is helping the boxers throughout their life, what could it do for a kid if they start young? And so we decided to really create a program that was like she said, mind, body, and spirit. And it really just taught them how to use some of the sports application to really develop characteristics that they could use throughout all aspects of their life.
Now, boxing fans will be very interested to know that not too long ago you had a rising superstar at the gym.
Yeah. Right. Dimitry is getting ready to fight soon, I think in March. And so right now he's, you know, getting ready, doing some sparring, just really getting out there so he can get prepared for the fight. And we all had a common goal of impacting kids positively. And so when he heard about Faith Fighters and that we also use the same gym, we had some of the kids down and he was there at the same time. And it just really was a great way for the kids to see somebody who's actually been able to use the skills that we're teaching them to really advance his life and to really create something not just for himself, but for his family, his country. I mean, just something that everyone who loves him and knows him can be proud of.
Yeah, when we were watching him condition, it was so focused, and the children were just like, wow, look at him do this, look at how he does this, you know, just stand on target each time he moved, each time he was given an instruction. He's very, very compassionate for the children, especially the children that has, you know, that are disadvantaged. He was, you know, spending time with them, taking each time with one of them, you know, like helping them do practicing with him. And we've seen a couple of little superstars in the, you know,
in the making.
Yes, yes.
And then she was also like just she admired the way that he took the time to sign each and every one of their gloves.
Can I just stop for 1 second, because people are tuning into the room, they might not know who you're talking about. So boxing fans, we're talking about Dmitri Bivol, the light heavyweight champion of the world, who defends his title, I believe, in March on main events against Sullivan Barrera. So the light heavyweight champion of the world was at the gym with Faith Fighters International. So it's very important that you know who we're talking about. For Dmitri Bivol and for his fans that know about him, knowing that he's doing such great work in the community, work with young people. If I had a hat, I'd be taking my hat off. So, you know, but you know what I'm saying. It's fantastic.
You can take your sweatshirt off.
I could take the sweatshirt off, and yeah, I could do that actually, but I probably won't. It's still a bit nippy in here, but yeah. But yeah, I get you. So how did that all come about in the first place? I know you said that he was in the gym and he trains at the same gym, but for you to bring it together, I mean, that's a masterstroke, particularly when he's fighting only in a few weeks' time.
Well, the unique thing about our program is that we are very, very blessed to be able to use US 5 Center. US 5 is like a 4-acre facility that houses one of like some of the most amazing components. It has not only like a state-of-the-art boxing gym, but football and like 10 soccer fields. So we really are blessed to be able to partner up with US 5. And within the boxing is Legends Boxing. Legends Boxing is just, if you haven't heard of it as a boxing fan, you need to go right now on Google, on Facebook, on Twitter, and look up Legends Boxing. They literally have state-of-the-art equipment, and everybody who's anybody in boxing has been there. I mean, and so we're very fortunate because there's pro boxers and semi-pro boxers coming through there all the time working out. And some of the owners, Roger, Giovanni, they've partnered up with us because they also have a love for getting out in the community, really inspiring the kids. So, you know, all of these guys, they're not just talking about what they want to do in the community. They're about their business. Their love for inspiring youth and really, really impacting their lives positively is second to none. And without the partnership that we have with them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do.
Yeah, so basically, that was our kids from the pilot program, and they were scheduled to be there, and it so happens that he was scheduled to be there too, so it was a perfect combination.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm not sure if you're aware, but Gail Falkenthal, who works with Main Events, is actually on listening to you as we speak. I did send her the link, so I'm hoping Gail could jump in as well, because Gail. It would be great for Gail to be. Gail, so if you're listening and you're watching, I've just sent a link to your Twitter page. It'd be great to have you in the room. I can give people more information about Dimitri's upcoming fight and linking it back into what's happened on the media day as well. So that would be perfect to get you in the room. So tell us how the Faith Fighters International started. What inspired it?
It was really inspired by Yolanda's love for boxing. I mean, she came to us and just told us, I mean, every time she would meet a new boxer or see a new fight or read about somebody, she was just really, really inspired by their passion, their discipline. You know, a lot of them tell their stories about how boxing really created an avenue for them to get out their aggression, and really like take their lives in a positive direction. And so, you know, she was like, you know, I know we could create something. And I was just like, well, let's create a youth program where we're teaching the kids the same things that these boxers are learning. And even if they don't go pro, or even if they don't go, you know, to that next level, they could still learn these important tools that can help them in every aspect of their life. And yeah, and so we were brainstorming, and I was like, it's going to be called Faith Fighters. And
yeah, and like the wonderful thing about it is like yesterday, both of them like, guys, we were just like in the park, like not even, I don't know, about like 7-8 months ago, thinking about this. We drew up the program, put the numbers to it, and then Yolanda's like, okay, let's go. She started running with it, telling this person, that person, this person, and then it just came about.
Hold on, let me drag Yolanda back into the room just for a second. Yolanda, talk to me. What's going on?
I'm just listening. I mean,
yeah,
it's all good stuff.
They're saying that you also inspired it, so I just want to hear your side of things as well.
Well, so as you know, I was in the boxing media stuff, and then just meeting. I would just say, and you're gonna love this, Ingram, because it includes Andre Ward, and I think he was just like the most amazing fighter. And I found out today that he was at Legends Boxing today, and I was telling the girls, I'm like, I'm hating on everybody who didn't tell me that he was gonna be there, but it's okay. I still love everyone. But I think he was probably the one that kind of just inspired me, because he's a believer. Hi, Gail. I see that she's on.
She is.
Okay. And basically because I found my
Gail, I think you've got you'll have to mute your mic for the moment, please. We're getting interference. Thank you, Gail.
So basically, I think with Andre Ward, he just really touched my heart, because as you know, Pure Heart Ministries Inc. is a Bible-based nonprofit that, you know, just basically goes and helps the community. And so when Liko and Kenya talked about their ministry gifts company, it kind of just came together naturally, just us with our ideas and our passion for Christ and our passion for the kids in the community. And then we just kind of just built this program from scratch, and we're still building it as we go along, because there's so many different components to it, because we have the soccer, we have the football, and we have boxing components that also incorporate the academics and motivational side of it. So it's like this big program, and we'll get it together. And so yeah, so that's basically how my inspiration started, with Andre Ward, and hopefully one day he'll come and join us.
Well, you know, Andre is he's a faith man, isn't he? So
Yeah.
you know, he will definitely be interested in something like this for sure. And from a big idea, many lives have been affected and being changed. So all three of you ladies need to be given the utmost applause for what you're doing. It's fantastic for the sport, not just for the sport of boxing, but sport in general, and for the young people it's been affected. I'm going to bring Gail into the room for a second to talk about Dimitri's involvement in the program and his upcoming fight and anything else Gail wants to talk about. Gail, how are you?
Ingram, my man.
How are you doing?
I'm great. Ingram, these ladies are a force of nature. Beware if you are standing in their way. I'm telling you, the reason this is taking off is their talent, their drive. I have a feeling these ladies do not take no for an answer very easily.
Okay.
And I couldn't have had a better day than to be there at the gym, at the Legends Gym in Norwalk, California. Just a few short miles from a lot of the famous venues in Southern California that most of your fans are used to seeing. And my understanding through working with Main Events, who is one of Dimitri's co-promoters, is that when he learned about this program through Roger Ruiz, who runs Legends Gym, and ladies, if I'm getting this wrong, jump in and let me know. Legends has become Dimitri's training home in Southern California. So he is now a presence there, along with a lot of other boxers, and he's relocated partly because of, obviously, it's a little easier to get up and do your morning workouts in Southern California versus Russia, where he said it's about, 10 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. And because of the quality of the sparring and everybody around him. So he is based there and learned about the program and said, I want to do something. I want to do something to support this. And he tells the story about how sport impacted his own life and where it got him as a youth. In fact, he said something so striking to me yesterday, which was he cannot remember much of his life outside of boxing. Even from he remembers almost nothing from his youth that didn't have to do with boxing, and how it gave him, not only him, but also his family and everyone who relies on him, this opportunity to where he's now risen to be one of the world light heavyweight champions. So here's this fearsome man in Kenya. I'm going to tell a story on you because we asked Kenya about, were her kids excited to meet him? And she said, oh my God, yes, he's a monster. in the most complimentary way.
Yes, of course.
But to see this man who we've all enjoyed seeing as fans, absolutely wreak damage in the ring, interacting with these kids. He speaks Russian, although his English has gotten extremely good considering how quickly it's come along. But, here's this big man from Russia, mean guy, their kids, who will, I'm sure they will tell you, have been through a lot in their lives. We wouldn't wish this on anybody. Interacting. They understood each other. They understood each other. They laughed, they smiled. And come on, Ingram. We know a lot of these guys. They come in, they do their thing, they meet and greet. Yeah, they take the photos, they're done. Dmitry had done his workout. And you know how fun that is, being soaked to the skin, in your jacket. And you're thinking, I want to go hit the shower. Oh, no. Oh, no. He stayed and he stayed. He presented every single child with a pair of professional signed gloves, thanks to some help from Everlast. Very impressive. He presented them personally. And then he put the gloves on a lot of these children, and he invited every single one of them to come up and hit with him. It was just spectacular. I mean, it was just the best thing ever. The smiles, the fun, the warmth between them was something you don't see very often. There is a very special relationship already going on between these kids and him. And he has, all right, I'm going to tell you something else. All of you viewers to the channel, be prepared now to turn green with envy when I tell you that he has given these kids a standing invitation to come watch him spar anytime.
Wow.
You know, you don't get a lot of invitations to come watch guys spar. That's a very sort of secret sauce thing going on. And he's also a guy, he has said, you know, part of the reason he likes Legends is it's a little bit of a quiet gym. It's a little obscure, and he doesn't like a lot of crowding around him. That rule is off when it comes to these kids. Just there's quite an amazing relationship going on, and we couldn't be more pleased. And it's all them. You know, we're just sitting back watching and enjoying what's going on. And ladies, Kenya, Nicole, Yolanda, thank you for what you're doing. Sport does change lives. As Dimitri said yesterday, you know, you do not have to be a professional to be a champion. Well said in any language.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you're in the room, Gail, because it gives viewers, obviously, who know you as well, and listeners a different perspective, obviously, because you're coming from that media side of things and watching Dimitri and many other fighters around the world, watching him do his thing, but going the extra yard. And that is something special. Not everybody can do that. And when a fighter does something like that, or any sports personality does something like that, above and beyond the call of duty, it's a special thing, and it should be commended for it. For those people who don't know that much about Dimitri, just give people a little rundown about who he is.
Dmitri Bivol is from St. Petersburg, Russia, where, like a lot of Eastern European fighters, enjoyed a very, very successful amateur career, and has now come to the professional ranks fairly recently. He is already the WBA light heavyweight champion, amazingly enough, with only 11 fights behind him and 9 knockouts. He is a strong, quick-moving, fierce competitor. And he will be facing Sullivan Barrera of Miami, Florida via Cuba, who is also under the main events banner, in a 12-round championship fight a week from this Saturday on March 3rd at Madison Square Garden. So this will be Dimitri's debut at Madison Square Garden. And it is the co-main event lead fight on the undercard of the Sergey Kovalev title defense against another Russian opponent, Igor Mikhalkin, who is fighting for the first time outside of Eastern Europe. So that'll be a very interesting fight. But I dare say the Bivol-Barrera fight just might steal the show.
I think
we're looking forward to a great fight.
Barrera's a very good opponent, very good fighter. And Bivol's got a good fight in his hands. He's not fighting any knockover job. It's a good fighter.
He's one of these guys who says, you know, to be the best, you have to beat the best. I want the best. And, you know, Barrera was the best opponent that could be put in front of him at the time to make the fight. And he said yes. And that's a guy the fans will, you know, admire and respect, because if he takes on all comers and doesn't put them off to the side for whatever reasons, that endears him to the fans as well. And he seems to be very grounded, very humble, very grateful for what he's had, but without question has gotten here due to very hard work. The guy has a tremendous work ethic.
The fact that Kovalev and Bivol are on the same card, does that mean we could see the two guys clash later in the year?
Well, I'm not sure it happened that fast, but I do think we all acknowledge that there is a collision course heading our way down the road if they are the two last men standing in the light heavyweight division. However, you've got several other players circling, of course, that need to be dealt with. There is a mandatory in Alvarez, Eliezer Alvarez. You know, we all want to see what, you know, is going to happen with a certain Mr. Stevenson up north of our border in Canada. We'll see. He has a fight and play with Badu Jack. And then, of course, Now, all of a sudden, we have that new face in the division. It's a very, very exciting time in the light heavyweight division. You know, and you know Ingram quite well. Sometimes a division, they kind of go through their ups and downs where there's, a lot of robust competition and it's very competitive. And other times when, the ranks are a little thin and whoever's at the top, has perhaps had a bit of an easy road. Nobody who's going to hold a belt in that division right now is going to have an easy road.
Absolutely.
And we are the beneficiaries of that.
Absolutely. Gail, thank you so very much. If you can still stay on the line, because there might be some other things that we can ask you about while we're still doing this interview.
I will keep myself available. And of course, I would have been listening anyway. So you need me. I am here. I will be watching, enjoying, and call me into the room should you need anything. Ladies, what a pleasure. I didn't know our paths would cross again so soon. What a bonus.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Thank you, Gail, for all your kind words.
Big fans, everybody. You need to go check their website out. You need to get on board. It's the ground floor, and let's do this.
Great stuff, Gail.
Yeah. Follow us on Twitter, Faith Fighters Win.
Yes.
We are really just trying to build up, our fan base. We want to include anybody who believes in sports, who believes in faith, who believes in giving back. So also, we do want to give a big shout out to HBO Boxing. They sent the kids backpacks, gym bags, notebooks, and without them, this event also wouldn't have been possible. So we do want to give a big shout out to HBO Boxing.
Don't disappoint. I want to ask you the impact of what would have happened had you ladies not set this up, and how those young people that you've got now, how they've been affected with this project not being in place.
Well, for them, it's just a healthy way to get out the aggression and the pain that we all have gone through, so many different aspects of pain in our life and our childhood. And, sports, especially boxing. I mean, I wanted to go hit a bag the other day. You know what I mean? Boxing really is a healthy way to get that aggression out, and you're focused when you do it. So it's a focus, it's a discipline, it's a self-control type of thing. So, like, even though I can't go off and act crazy over here, I have this moment where if I'm having a bad day, if I'm really just going through some terrible times in my life, I mean, these are at-risk youth. A lot of these are in a foster family adoption program. So they've gone through so much trauma in their life. And so, this is one of the most productive and healthy ways to really release that aggression and that pain. And
yeah, like I said before, like we've seen some quite a few, kids hitting some punches. So lighten up their eyes. They never thought it would be possible that they can be next to a semi-pro boxer or any athlete of that manner. But I know it gave them inspiration to just do something in life that they never thought they could do before.
Right. And that's why we really want to invite anyone who, like I said, has an interest in sports, believes in faith and giving back, to just join us on this journey, because for the kids, it means so much to have anybody take interest in them, to have anybody stop what they're doing and actually care, care about them. That means so much to them. So yeah. I mean,
I was going to add that it's not just boxing you guys are doing. Obviously, there are other sports as well.
Right. So there's a football component, and in the football component, it's run by Laced Facts, which is, again, one of the most state-of-the-art training facilities for youth in the entire country. Their youngest kid is 10. And he's already got a college scholarship. He was featured on Sports Illustrated Kids. I mean, they've just been able to do remarkable things at that gym. And then the soccer component is run by Yassine. And it's state of the art. And his goal really is to have an academy where the kids can come there and be totally engrossed in the sport. And that's something that in Europe, I guess, is quite popular. But here in the US, we don't really do that as much. And so he's trying to bring that model to the US so the kids can really start at a young age being totally engrossed in the sports, like focused on, their academics, their physical training with the sports, and then also, like we said, their character. So they can be great teammates. They can really, be respectful to their fans, to their coaches, and to everybody who pours into them.
It says that I'm involved in sport quite heavily, done a lot of coaching, and set up academies myself. And one of the things I've noticed is the younger the child is taking part in the sport, the more chance you've got of them A, sticking in that sport, and B, remaining focused and being successful in that sport because they started at an early age. So it's fantastic what you ladies are doing. The age group, what's the age groups that you work with?
Well, I do know that we're starting off between 10 and 16. However, our goal is to go as low as 8 and as high as 18.
Okay. Yeah. One of the things that the Lace Facts, Mike is the guy who runs Lace Facts. He says he can't train this. I mean, he can't train this, right? So they're big and they're tall and they're 7 foot, whatever. He can't train that, but he can train this. And so his goal is really to get them as young as he possibly can. I mean, 2nd grade, I think, is where he wants us to kind of target 2nd to 8th grade for his football program. So, I mean, we really want to open it up to as many kids that we possibly can. Our minimum goal is 400 a year. So we want to have at least 100 kids cycling in throughout this program every single quarter. And we want to go as high as we possibly can. Yassine wants to build more facilities like this one so we can accommodate kids from every single community. And our goal is to really positively impact the lives of these kids. And we know sports is one of the best outlets.
So if parents you and they want their child to be a part of this project, I wouldn't say project experience. What's the criteria? How do they get involved?
Well, you can really email us, info@faithfighters.net. Follow us, like I said, on Faith Fighters Win. Send us a direct message. We really are trying to help kids who actually have an interest or maybe want to see if they have an interest, in the sport. We want to introduce them to as many sports as we possibly can because, like if you're anything like me, I tried everything twice, so you just want to be able to give them some autonomy over what they actually have an interest and a passion for. So,
so just, well, I know that at first when we started, we want to target disadvantaged children, namely the children who cannot afford it. When we went into it, our whole goal was to sponsor 100 children that can't afford it for, of course, every quarter of the year. As we grow, we know that we can open it up to, other children, but our goal really is disadvantaged children.
Okay, and how many children do you have at the moment?
Right now we have 80.
Okay.
So we, and this is a pilot program. There's actually several phases. We're going to do a summer program, and then we're going to roll into an after-school program, and that will go on, throughout the entire year and, ending in the summer and then kick back to the summer program. And we actually want to open it up to kids who actually have a higher skill level and they want to go and really train to be either semi-pro, pro, college athletes, and they just really have a higher level of skill, and they probably will need some more one-on-one training and and a passion, because that takes a little bit more commitment and a lot more.
Yeah, and like I know Yolanda can attest to this. All of our community partners involved, their main goal is to keep children off the streets. That's their main goal, main focus.
Fantastic. Ladies, I'm gonna stop you right there because we're running out of time. But thank you all so much once again. Are you have you got any final words?
Faith Fighters win on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Faith Fighters. So it's Faith Fighters win.
Win, don't they?
Of course they do. Always.
Okay.
All the time. So it's WIN, right? Win. No double N's.
No double N. Faith Fighters win. WIN.
Thank you so much. Fantastic for that. Gail, do you have any words to add to this before I say goodbye?
Support this group, folks. If you love the sport of boxing, one thing you can do is help our youth channel their problems and their challenges into the sport. And I think, based on what I saw yesterday, there's some real talent there. Dimitry actually pinpointed a couple of the kids and one or two of the ladies, I think, and said, you need to come back.
Mm-hmm.
You have a guy like that spot you out as talent, you better listen to him. I just think this is going to be a marvelous relationship to watch. And Ingram, thank you. I should have known when I saw this pop up in the programming notes that you'd be the man to get behind this. I cannot thank you enough for this exposure. You know, this is the valuable food on the seeds that will make this strong little tree grow. And it can't happen without people like you.
Well, I support it 100%. It matches up with everything that I believe, and you know, it's like almost synergy. So it's fantastic, and it's great to see people doing great things. So we support them 120%.
Energizing, isn't it? Energizing personally. It's just good to be around. Just
let me see that. Let me see that again. That was nice. Let me see it again.
Yeah.
Lift it up.
Yeah.
Yes. Faith. Pray, train, win. Does it say?
Pray, train, win, repeat.
Fantastic. That's beautiful.
All in that order. And if you guys want a t-shirt, the t-shirts support the program, please go to our Twitter. The link to our website is in there. Send us a message. Let us know if you want to support, buy t-shirts. We really appreciate it.
I don't know. Like, if they want support, they should support.
Oh, well, yeah. I meant that.
Yeah, that's right. They should
what
support.
he said.
That's right. Yolanda, thank you so much, ladies. Thank you so much, Gail, for your input.
Thank you.
As always, you are fabulous. Ladies, again, thank you so much. Yolanda, I'm going to leave you with the final word.
Oh, my goodness. Well, first of all, I just want to say I love you all, Gail, Ingram, Kenya, and Nicole. I think that the kids, what I saw after the event from yesterday, they were just so uplifted. They didn't want to leave. And I know that as adults, we get tired sometimes, but they did not want to leave. They wanted to keep going. And I think if we had the time, they would have stayed there until midnight, probably. But I just want to thank everyone, and I'm glad that we could come together and make a difference in the kids, most of all. So
get up, keep going, keep having the faith, and keep your head high.
All right, thank you.
Thank you all so much. That has been the Faith Fighters International. It's me, Ingram Jones from BWTM Sports. You need a bit of faith in whatever you do in life. You've got to believe. Got to keep your head high and got to keep going, even when things are difficult. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Take care.